for them to turn it around. At least one of them will. But what do Liquid, often, or what does Liquid often get associated with? What is Liquid really good for? Unfortunately, good for getting stuff washed. So I really hope that's not the case for these guys. They're all great personalities within the scene. I think it makes sense. The Ronicky Speed Fruity roster does look good on paper, but unfortunately, they just had the same kind of terrible results every once in a while. That's a great save though by Speed, and that's exactly the position I want to see Speed dominating in today. Let Fruity run riot in the midfield, let Ronicky get as many chances up front as possible. They're not going to get a good start after all. Tox with a double touch early on.
Yeah, we're really looking towards seeing whether or not this theory crafting of a roster can turn into game craft. And Tox, he has got a lot to prove to all of us today. Didn't want to be moved off that Giants roster. He has now moved to a team that is desperate to climb back up in the standings. And talking about the standings, it's quite the points difference between the two teams right now. Solary coming in at 11th, 530 points across the whole season. Team Liquid, 15th, 190. It's not been their time.
It's a good chance for Ronicky. He's going to fire hard on target, but Exotic did not pre-jump. He just waited to see what the shot would look like. We're glad that he chose that option. And on the counter, he gets the goal to put Solary 2-0 ahead. Liquid had a charge-in challenge from Speed with no backup, and Fruity did not get in the way of the shooting line. 2-0 Solary.
Yeah, Fruity just caught a very difficult angle to work with, just over a minute in. Perfect start here for Solary, as managed to fire themselves up to a comfortable lead so far, and they haven't really been forced to defend against all too much. Good news, Johnny, for you. You had Redemption being your dark horse today. They have moved on through, forced to fight for it in a Game 5, but they won't care. They're through. And,
they were playing against 3 French players, so that's, of course, obviously going to be a tough one. Going to Game 5 is not surprising. But yeah, Redemption, look out for them in this tournament. They're one of definitely the most promising up-and-coming teams right now. You know, the reason, Shogun, that I call, oh my goodness, Carrion is just going to make it 3-0. That's 1 goal for all 3 players, and Team Liquid have been beaten to the ball in every single one of them. I'll get back to what I was going to say in a second, but oh dear, Ronicky, not the takeoff he was looking for in that play.
It is, it's been slow. That's the only real way to describe Team Liquid at the moment. They are so slow, despite trying to commit to these challenges, to these different plays. Can't afford to be that right now. Johnny, back to the point you wanted to make previously.
Yeah, probably going to get interrupted rudely by another goal, of course, as always. But, Solary are probably feeling quite jealous right now of their fellow rival series teams from Season 9. Giants and BDS both came from the rival series in Season 9. They're both, top of EU at the moment. And Solary, who are right in the mix with them, they were the other third team out of the rival series who looked great. In fact, they beat Giants to qualify for Season X with preferential seeding. But since then, they've been thoroughly outplayed by their rivals there. And I think they're probably looking on enviously at the success of BDS and Giants, thinking, okay, when is it our turn? Today's start is looking great for them, so this could be the beginning. With Tox on the roster, I do think that they've got a lot of potential.
Yeah, you have to really look at it like that. It was an upgrade for them as a double commit as well, but over to Fruity. They would like to have found a double tap there, but it just will not be available. And a 3-goal lead with just over 2 minutes remaining. It becomes very difficult to get past. Ronicky had to delay his jump. Knew that the attempted demo was moving on in, so great read from him to make sure this game is at least still playable for them. Now he's going to go to the other side of the field and he's straight at Tox.
Oh dear. Well, if Liquid had one thing going for them recently, it was Ronicky's shooting, but he's been denied by Solary's newest member, Tox there, who, had to be the standout player on Giants before he left, although Giants were definitely performing very well as a whole. Yeah, Ronicky and the Team Liquid boys will need to improve. This is just not good enough. They've created a couple of half chances, but their defense has not been anywhere near the level to win with only a couple of half chances on net. With the way that Team Liquid have defended this game, they probably need at least 10 shots, threatening shots, to be able to get a tie game with Solary here.
If they are going to make a comeback, it has to start very soon. They are quickly running out of time here in Game 1. And there'll be a lot of people, you know, for many teams, we try not to take too much from game one, but there'll be a lot of people looking at this saying, oh, not again. It's happening again, just straight from the very first 5 minutes. It has been the reputation they've gathered throughout this season so far. Nothing really created yet. Instead, Speed been caught out. He was expecting an infield, and it didn't happen. Carrion had much different ideas.
Yeah, brilliant shot by Carrion, first of all. That's a lot of power, a lot more power than Speed was expecting, so really well played by him. But you just look again at Team Liquid's goal line, you think, what is the goalkeeper doing? It's another play where they've just been thoroughly beaten, not to the ball, but now they're just beaten by a shot that's better than what they were expecting. They haven't defended capably in this game one. They're going to need to step up, and they're going to need to do it soon because, you know, Liquid, with their current form, do they have any reverse sweep chances? Do they have any, you know, reverse sweep equity in this one?
I don't know, man. This has been a season where you keep hoping for the best for them, and it just hasn't quite been there because this roster really should be a challenge for everybody. This is what they were expected to be coming into this season. And right now, they are struggling to keep up with what has been the midfield of Europe so far. As for Solary, great game one from them.
Yeah.
And they will not complain whatsoever. This has been so good, and it's starting to see what Tox will bring to this team because he was a standout here in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, they look really good. This is a great series for Solary, who, you know, like I said in the middle of this game, they're one of the other teams that coming into RLCS Season X, they had so much promise, but in the off-season, it just was, things weren't clicking for them. They weren't performing up to their RLCS Season 9 level. And they haven't, until now, been able to figure it out, really, and contest the top teams. But yeah, Tox is a great player. He's been, he had a great off-season between RLCS Season 9 and Season X. He just came from the Giants, who are, you know, pretty solidly fourth in this in the overall standings coming into this split. And yeah, I've got to look as well at Exotic. He's a player who is a very talented individual. I really rate him. Very smart, very good mechanically. And you saw there as well, Carrion totally outplayed Speed with the last goal. Just a brilliant shot. The Speed did not anticipate. Clearly, Solary have got the individual mechanical ability. It's for them just about consistency. It's the same story for all these teams in the middle of the pack, Shogun. They've just got to try and figure out the winning formula and not fall down this dangerous spiral of bad results that so many teams have been stuck in.
It's a very dangerous split to come in for it as well, because last split you were playing a lot of games. You were able to figure out, is this going to work for us across the entire year? But you don't have the excuse anymore. There's no time to try and put together the roster. You had last regional, and then this is the one where you have to start performing because you've now taken over the halfway point of the season. Speed's going to get his chance. And on the breakaway, Team Liquid have something to work with.
Ronicky with a brilliant play in defense. Gets the ball away from a scramble in the corner and then outplays the third man to allow Speed the open net. And then Ronicky, usually the goal scorer, but he's just a great player all around at messing up the other team. Whatever he needs to do, whether it's an assist or an off-the-ball play or a shot, he's always very, very good offensively. For me, I was even thinking about putting him in my top 5 players in EU in the last split at certain times because he was that impressive on Barcelona. Hasn't reached those kind of levels in Liquid yet, but this could be the beginning.
Speed wants that second touch, doesn't quite find the angle on it. Yeah, Ronky's one of those players where the question has always been, is it him that's doing this, or is it the team around him that enables him to be that brilliant? Getting to do it with a second entirely new roster would certainly have got a lot of those assumptions. As Exotic does win the challenge well, he's managed to control it. It's straight down for Carrion. Team Liquid still getting outpaced in the air, though. They need to make sure that they are right on top of that. So now they find themselves stuck defensively yet again. Exotic wants to put it on target, maybe rely on Tox to find a bump. Now it's Team Liquid's opportunity. Another clear into the midfield, another chance of Speed. Try and put something together, and I'm liking what I'm seeing from Solary, though, offensively. But now it's going to be on the other side. Team Liquid, they had a few swipes at them defensively, and they decided to utilize that themselves. Speed became a wrecking ball. Yeah,
great play by Speed. It was pretty clear that Solary had had a call there from the player at the near post saying that they had it under control because the goalkeeper just sat back, and then all of a sudden Speed bumps the only player that was in the play away from the ball, left it wide open for Ronicky. Those two connecting brilliantly so far in game number 2.
Now Speed's going to look to transition it again. He's got Ronicky to work with. And for that backboard, but 2 players committed and it didn't go out too far away. Sigh of relief here for Team Liquid that this game has looked so much better. The challenge is going to put them under a little bit of pressure for the time being. For those of you as well that want even more Rocket League action, we do have 2 other streams going at the same time. We currently have You Choose Peace versus Singularity over at the Rocket RB. That's off the crossbar. I'm going to finally clear as well. I'm going to try and rush through this one now. Trainhard Esports against Dignitas over at UGC.
It looks like it's not just Triple Trouble today who are having an argument with the crossbar, but even former Triple Trouble players, Speed now, getting denied. It was technically an open net, although he didn't really know that while he was going in for the shot. Still though, Team Liquid lead comfortably. Is it going to stay that way? I'm sure it's probably going to take about half an hour after a series win for any Team Liquid fan to believe that it's really happened these days. But that's maybe going to change. Like I said, I could see this team winning a regional. They got that kind of individual talent and the pop-off ability. They've got the experience. But they've got to find consistency. Both of these teams do.
Rocky tries to tap that one down. I do agree with that as well. It seems like both teams they need to see the other side of the coin, really. They need to see the positive side. Oh, wow.
My.
Well, there's only positives from that challenge by Exotic. And time for the nerves to go straight back to Team Liquid.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, it's not the most expected outcome of that 50-50, to be fair. But why on earth Fruity decided to turn left immediately, or exactly as that 50-50 was happening, is beyond me. It was the one moment where he just had to play it safe, turn right, do a little half turn, not even a half turn, an 1/8 of a turn back towards his goal, and he would have had that covered. But he did some kind of little wiggle to the left, and then he had no way to get back in time. It's just too risky.
Oh!
And now they've been punished. Tox with a crazy angle double. Oh dear, Liquid, what have you done?
Well, that is just pure class by Tox.
Brilliant.
Ceiling to backboard to double tap. And there'll be very little complaints regarding how Team Liquid try to defend that one, because the simple answer is you don't.
Yeah, that one was just class from Solary. Team Liquid should never even be in this position in the first place. The previous shot was savable. It was just totally savable. Has Ronicky get them back in it? No, not quite. Speed as well. Shoots on target, but Carrion will launch it into the crossbar. Fruity beaten comfortably by Tox. And Team Liquid will have to hunt again.
And we come down to this little moment yet again. Pass over to Speed. Crossbar for him. Follow up from Fruity. And he will calm the nerves. Oh, dearie me. It was starting to look like one of those, wasn't it?
I am so sorry to all the Team Liquid fans who are watching right now. I can't even imagine what this must be like to watch the team just throw away a lead and then have another crossbar. Luckily, Fruity's there to swing the roller coaster back into the other direction. Exotic now looking for a double. Speed has missed it. Carrion with a shot. Ronicky just sat still, ignored the demo, and he somehow evaded it. That was a bit fortunate, but it's worked out.
That was a very brave Ronicky on the field. That's exactly what they required. It's either he didn't see it or he didn't care. One of those is much more impressive than the other.
Sometimes it's better not to see the demo coming, because the player who was going for the demo tried to predict him jumping, even though he was looking away in the other direction. They jumped. Ronicky actually just sat still and didn't get demoed, got the save. Pretty crazy exchange, but here come Solary again. Are they going to get another 0-second chance? No, they won't. Carrion misses, and Team Liquid win the Forbidden Temple Game 2 here. My goodness. They just don't know how to have an easy win, do they? It was
Team Liquid win possible.
it was going really well. They played a clean game, no real huge blunders. They're up by 2. Time's running out for Solary to come back, and then Fruity just drives into no man's land instead of sitting in the goal, and they're back in a 1-goal game, which anything can happen. Oh man, Team Liquid. Why do you have to do this to your fans, I wonder? But yeah, they got the W, so yeah, that win is a win, I guess. That's what that's the storyline they're gonna push.
And for Solary, despite the loss, it's again a good performance from Tox. They'll be loving this roster move at the moment. They've just got to try and find that little bit towards the beginning of the game rather than trying to have to just chase like Team Liquid allowed them to do in that previous game. But more importantly, we are up to 1 game each. All important third game here to see who is going to have themselves 2 match points. And whether or not Team Liquid can just sort of get out of their own way defensively. A lot of weird decisions being made, a lot of times where they've tried to be preemptive and they've got the read wrong.
Yeah, that's really all it is for Team Liquid, is get the defense sorted out, because in offense, they're starting to get things going. Another goal coming in for Fruity now, early on in the game. Carrion, a bit too far ahead of himself there. I don't know if he was anticipating an earlier shot from Fruity. He probably was, and that's why he's jumped so wildly at that one. But Fruity actually just took his time, saw the opening, and put it into the open net.
Now Fruity again on top of this. He has been offensively very solid for them, but now they're chasing this one. They had everyone so far forward. And it's another unnecessary goal to concede.
Oh dear. The entire Team Liquid squad pressed far up in attack. We had Speed closely following the center ball. We had Ronicky all the way up in the middle. Just nobody back. Once again, Team Liquid, they don't have any plans to defend, I suppose. They just want to drive out a position with a third man in every single game this series.
We need to get them in contact with Fadeaway.
True, between Team Liquid and Fadeaway, you probably got yourself a very well-rounded team. But they're both either ends of the spectrum. Team Liquid, oh my goodness. That's the 3rd game now in a row where they've conceded just for absolutely no reason. There was really no reason at all to be that far advanced as third man. And, you know, they're just going to communicate who's going to sit back, who's going to cover the hard clear, who's going to try and make a save if the ball suddenly gets shot on target from distance. Because that happens quite often in 3v3.
Fruity's challenge there yet again. Wait a second. Ronicky wants to try and find some sort of read. Team Liquid are adamant about this third man across the halfway line. They are very determined that being this offensively pushed up will work for them. Speed is faked out. Exotic pass 2. Look for the dunk. Didn't quite get there for him, but it's still a nice position for Solary to be in, especially after that challenge. Exotic tried to read that one. Couldn't quite do so. Tox, he's pre-jumped this. Still couldn't quite win the race to the ball. Now Solary starting to press. Nobody challenging for the longest time. And for Team Liquid, they're not even looking at like the main challenges and the main options. Knowing how it's been for them, it could just be anywhere as Exotic moves on in. Double tap attempted. Well read yet again by Fruity. It's going to be cleared one more time. Ronicky. But Tox tries to get rid of it. Fruity, oh, it's a nice demo. Speed's going to have the chance. And Exotic will get rid of it one more time. Those of you as well who haven't got your hearts pounding just enough. Wait a second. Speed's going to have one more shot at this. And Carrion will keep it out. Over at the UGC stream, Dignitas currently 1 game down, 1 free down in game 2.
Oh my.
That's, yeah. We said this was a long-term project, but it might be longer term if they are losing matches like that as Exotic comes out on top of the challenge. And just like his celebration, he is raining down goals on Team Liquid.
Oh, what a read. Exotic fakes a low shot to the bottom right corner, pulls away, and wins the 50-50 on the outside edge of the challenge. Huge read there from Exotic, who's got a lot of 1v1 experience, actually, in recent times, so it's not all that surprising that he's been able to do that. In fact, was it Exotic who beat Speed 62-1? Was that the matchup?
I believe that was over on the Subpar stream.
Yeah, I think Exotic, in fact, has a little bit of a history with Speed here in 1v1 that Speed would rather not talk about.
Right now, he's going to have to be talking to the rest of his team about how they're going to turn this around. And these misses are certainly not going to help. Team Liquid almost caught. Once again, causing their own problems. just can't quite win these races so far. Either they've been losing them outright or losing the challenges that they result in. It's Exotic again looking for that backboard. The thing is, we've seen Exotic play when he gets that time. Very capable of finding awfully difficult angles. Oh, here we go. Solary now making some of their own mistakes. Are going to recover from it very quickly. No drama for them.
Yeah, just a bit of a miss there from Exotic. Thank goodness for him. Carrion double committed to the ball and took care of it. Minute left in the game. Team Liquid have tidied up their defense for the most part after the one earlier blunder. Coming out from the entire team just pressing up at the same time against a hard clear. But is it going to be too late? They have to get something going in offense. That might be it. Talks off his own post. Fast recovery by him, and that is exactly what Team Liquid have struggled with. They've never had that last man who's been able to scramble back and knock the ball clear.
Yeah, great communication by Solary. Told each other, hey, the demo's happened, Tox, we need you to cover. And we just about got there. 23 seconds left here. Team Liquid are pressing forwards. Just haven't had the chance just yet, despite Tox keeping them out just a moment ago. Fruity wins the race. Speed now up to him. He's got Ronick in the midfield. This is the perfect setup for them. And there it is from Exotic. Once again, just too quick. Tox will be unchallenged for the longest time. He just has to get this one down to the floor.
Good touch, actually.
Keeps it alive. Over to Fruity. Wants the double tap. Has he got the boost? He won't even get the chance. And a booming clear will take the game for Solary.
Yeah, good try at the end there by Team Liquid. Speed's touch to keep the ball up in the air was really quite good. Caught Solary off guard. They were all expecting him to knock it into the corner. He actually just kind of popped it. And that set up the counter attack, which Fruity, I think he was on point for the double touch by the looks of things, but not that it mattered. Carrion was in position as third man. So Team Liquid, take notes. That's probably what you guys should be doing. Just keep a third man back near the goal. Anytime a hard clear is about to get sent that direction, that's been the issue for me. Every single game, they're creeping forward. They're not communicating whose turn it is to cover the goal and to watch out for the long shots. You know, think about what could be going wrong when that 50-50 that looks juicy is about to go down. But you know, they've still got one more chance here. Double match point for Solary. Team Liquid against Team Liquid, pretty much. You know, are they going to sort their defense out?
It's a fascinating part of the bracket, this one is, because whoever wins this, oh, that's the backboard. That's available for Exotic, and Speed just gets the body of that Octane across the ball. Whoever wins this, I believe, goes on to face Oxygen.
Yes.
So it is all teams that will be wanting better. Oh, you don't even have to do anything. Is he going to do it anyway? Of course you are. Get a hold of the stats padding. Carrion, make sure of it. And that is the perfect start for Solary. And yeah, let's just let you get this one out.
I just can't believe what I'm seeing, Shogun. His Speed is... He's well aware. He knew. He could see everything. This wasn't a case... I was on Speed's POV. It wasn't a case of him not seeing some information that would have been important and changed his position in this play or made him do something different. No, he had all 5 players on the ball in plain sight, and he decided to go slowly, mind you, for a rebound against the goalkeeper. You know, that's best case scenario, a 50-50, worst case scenario, a goal for Solary. I just have to ask, what on earth are Team Liquid doing? Do they just not want to play any third man today? Are they doing some kind of weird challenge? The no third man rule that I'm not aware of?
There's the... got to take a little bit of a break from social media, but maybe we're missing out on all these challenges now.
Yeah, I might have.
We're not keeping up to date.
Maybe somebody, gifted a whole bunch of subs on Speed Stream and said, I dare you not to play third man this weekend. Just every time you're the last man back, charge forward. And Speed agreed. That would explain it a lot better than anything else I could think of.
The real goal down here. Ronicky wants to change that, and
well
played. Shot that clean. Goes a long way towards doing so. So the earlier mistake is wiped away for Team Liquid. But it's all about the consistency. What are they going to bring to us over the next few minutes?
Yeah, will there be any defense more particularly? But I mean, the offense is there. That was the perfect pass from Fruity off the corner wall, and Ronicky got a ton of power on the shot, as he always does. This is exactly what we expect from these players as individuals. But when you put them together as a team, they just look so disorganized, and they don't look like they have any kind of communication working out to keep their rotation going and to help them make good decisions. in risky positions. It's 4 games in a row where they've made the exact same mistake, and they're still actually in a competitive series despite all that. I think it just goes to show how much talent is on this squad.
Exotic will be very upset with how he played this one. Tried to stay behind the ball, but stay behind the player that was on the ball, but just found himself too far forward. Didn't quite read that. The player was still trying to rotate back. Ended up being a very open net for Team Liquid. Go 2-1 up. Is it about to be free? Fruity might have a chance. He's won a few double tap attempts. This one was going to be the most uncontested one he was going to get. Now Speed moves on in to make it 3-1. Tox, another clear from him. Team Liquid. This is scary for both teams right now because this is where Team Liquid have been caught before.
Oh!
It might just take one big clear. This is going to be the chance now to try and break away. Speed buys that time. Keeps the pressure going, but Fruity did think about jumping for it. Decides to take his time, move up for a secondary challenge. Team Liquid offensively very, very dangerous to both teams. Oh, that's a huge miss.
It is.
And Fruity's got himself another.
Yeah, the shooting wheels are on. They are definitely hitting the target.
It's Exotic again.
Yeah, just not the right takeoff, I suppose, from Exotic. That was a really hard center ball, though. I mean, that's a forced error, if you ask me. The plays from Team Liquid in offense are being hit with no hesitation at all. These are some really great passes. And they're good enough to put goals past Solary with pretty good consistency, I would say. It really just does come down to Team Liquid's defense. Will it show up enough to keep them in this? With 2 minutes remaining, I think they've probably got this one in the bag, but they did lose a 2-goal lead in Game 2 with a similar kind of time frame. And that's a goal.
Johnny, you get a chance. You get a chance here. Are you going to run that one back, or are you sticking with it?
Oh, I don't know why I speak sometimes. I'm trying to compliment them. So we've really been harsh on Team Liquid today, but I think rightfully so. To be fair to them, that was a good passing play from Solary. Speed was in a 1v2. He had to just decide, is he going to charge in at the player who's on the ball, or is he going to cover the pass? He can't do both, and he picked the wrong option.
Now it becomes dangerous yet again. Speed doesn't use the backboard, instead just palms the ball off into the corner. Nice challenge for Exotic, but there's nobody on that left-hand side, kind of surprisingly. Not too sure where the rest of Solary ended up going. Backboard very much under attack by Team Liquid. Carrion with Exotic to aim for downfield. Instead, it's going to be held up. You can tell that Team Liquid really just, they want to be one of those teams. They want that almost G2 sort of play style where they're always there.
Yeah,
always have that offensive foot forward.
Yeah, that
But
might be
we've already
it.
known with G2 that those mistakes happen and you can't afford them.
Yeah, even G2, who are probably the best team to ever play Rocket League with that absolutely no hesitation, full offensive style. And yeah, you can clearly see Team Liquid are trying to do that. Oh my goodness, the ball is bouncing on target and nobody's doing anything about it. Oh, Roniki off his own bar. What a save, I guess, but not the most conventional one.
There was no pressure. There was no one there. But now he's the other side of the field. He's missed another one.
What?
Rodaki. Oh, dearie me. All right, well, good news, Team Liquid. It's not worked out against you. I don't know how. Infield pass. It's not going to happen. Fruity has to try and dive forward. Speed keeps it out. Is this on purpose?
I don't think so. I mean, to be fair, Speed actually didn't advance too far up in third-man position there. He did the right thing. It's supposed to be a routine move, but today I'm going to give them credit for it because they've hardly done it at all. Another good save by Speed. The defense is showing up in the final seconds for Team Liquid, but with 1 second left, now none. Solary will have to do the impossible, and it's not going to happen. An immediate drop, and Team Liquid let out a giant sigh of relief. They've avoided the Game 4 loss. They've avoided the Roniki own goal equalizer with a high-paced shot, but I guess they just don't know how to win a game comfortably, Shogun. This is just ridiculous.
Maybe we're making a big deal of it. Maybe Roniki always knew. I mean, Roniki shoots wherever he wants to on net anyway. You know, I'm fairly certain if we turn around to Roniki and said, I want you to hit this pixel on a crossbar, he could do it. So I'm going to give him full credit. That was entirely intentional. Roniki knew what he was doing. and he decided to take the shot before anybody else could. So
yeah,
that's
he just rushed
game
it.
5.
He just didn't want to leave it up to chance, really. He had a clear vision in his mind of a Solary player advancing into that position to take a shot, and he thinks, well, there could be a Solary player taking a shot, so I might as well take a bad shot, because at least if I shoot into the bar, there's no chance that one of them is hitting the target. Now, the reason he's hitting it so hard there and really just made it look like he's trying to score is because the harder he hits that ball, the further away from the goal it's going to go, and the harder it is for a Solary player to rebound. So it actually does make sense. It just looks ridiculous because we can see that there's nobody coming. Success. Yeah, well, we can see that he's fine. He can take his time, but he doesn't know that in that position. And obviously, with his teammates recovering, they probably didn't have time to communicate that to him either.
Well, here we go. Game 5. See who is going to move on to take on Team or Oxygen Esports over in the next round. The other one will be dropping down to the lower bracket. Exotic, good infield pass to Carrion, who couldn't really trap it all that well. And Team Liquid right back on the prowl. Speed takes his shot, and Tox did well. He saw that Fruity might be taking it, but instead read how the play was going to go. And now he's on the prowl to the other side of the field. Double commit from both Speed and Fruity. Tox tries to just dance around a couple of players. He's managed to do so, and Speed will try and get rid of it, but this is a difficult spot for Team Liquid to be in. We haven't seen them actually with all of the defenders on the goal line all too often this series.
I'm loving it. This is what I want to see from Team Liquid. Defense, look at them. They're saving multiple shots. Can they keep it out? Yes, they can. Team Liquid have brought more defense to this game than they did to the other 4 combined. Got to make a quick correction, by the way. We're looking forward so much to the potential Oxygen Team Liquid rematch that we've forgotten it is, in fact, Top Looks waiting for the winner of this match further on in the bracket. So my mistake there. Yeah, Top Looks will be, I think, licking their lips at the prospect of taking on the winner of this, because it's been a really messy affair, especially if Team Liquid end up going through. Top Looks will just sit back, hit them on the counter over and over again. But there's still a chance for Team Liquid to redeem themselves. There's, already redemption in the bracket, but potentially another redemption team here.
Carrion, he's managed to take on the entire team, and he does come out on top. First blood to Solary.
Ronicky faked the challenge, and Carrion did not bite. And to be honest, Speed will wish that Ronicky just charged head on into that ball. Would have made it a lot easier for him as he rotated into the back post instead of having 2 Liquid players queued up on the goal line waiting for the shot. He could have had one forcing the shot a whole lot earlier, allowing the other one to see what's actually going to happen a bit sooner. Fruity with a good save there. Tox was nice and early with the rebound. Now here comes Fruity down the line. He'll go for the reset, but doesn't land it. And Solary will be glad to see that, to be honest. If one thing has been lacking from Team Liquid, it has certainly not been offensive capability.
Certainly not, and they would like to be able to show that off again, but instead it's Tox done from him off the top of the bar, and Exotic follows. 2-0 to Solary, and it's happening all over again.
Huge dunk by Tox. Exotic's not going to miss from there. Ronicky was just a bit too late with the in-and-out save. You know, I did say I wanted to see one game from Team Liquid where they don't play a bad position third man, and this, I guess, has been that game so far. But Solary are good enough that they can win a game where Team Liquid actually defend pretty well. I'd say this is a pretty even matchup when Team Liquid's defense shows up in the way it should, because Tox has been on fire today. Exotic has been playing more like his Season 9 self, and look at the Devils raining in. Carrion with his easiest goal of the day, and Solary have a 3-0 lead.
Oh, poor Ronicky. He tries to get on back. He's avoided so many of these throughout the series, but there was no way he was ever going to avoid that one. 3-0. Solary in prime position to move on through to the next round. And now, if we thought Team Liquid had been a bit chaotic before offensively, now they have to be. They've got no choice in the matter. They've got 2 minutes to turn this around. Oh, it's got worse.
It's going to happen, Shogun. It's just getting worse. And we've unfortunately seen this so many times from Team Liquid. When they go down in Game 5s, they just completely lose the plot, and it's getting worse and worse. 4-0. Solary are merciless.
I don't know what to say at this point. I really, really don't. Speed just wants to find some sort of lifeline for the team, and even that's not going to work out for them. Such a hard team to get the read on, our Team Liquid. As for Solary, this is looking absolutely fantastic for them. They've even got the ability to infield past their opponents right now and give them a go. Well, one misstep from Solary does ignite the fire of a possible comeback.
Yeah, sniping that curve. Speed knocks the ball down into the center of the box. Ronicky, with a timely arrival, puts in the first goal for Liquid. They've got a chance here. They've had explosive offense at times this series. But the fact that Solary continue to pile on the pressure, this really does make it look like they're going to be able to lock this one away. Can Liquid get any more opportunities? Oh my goodness, Speed trying to get into attack, and the ball almost rolled on target. Luckily for him, it was barely moving.
Yeah, Speed was getting on top of that as soon as it had been hit. Really give himself any options if it didn't go the way he was expecting it to. Now for Team Liquid, they need 3 and they can't afford any more mistakes. Another goal against them, and that is definitely it. Speed infield over to Ronicky, couldn't get there in time. And now there's the counter attack. If that was on target, that would have been game over if it isn't already. Speed at least flicks it past Tox, gets it over Tox, and now into the midfield yet again. Nobody there to follow up. Ronicky over to, well, nobody really. Fruity too far forward for that pass. And Solary are starting to run rings around them. Final few moments here in Game 5, Johnny. Exotic wants to put it on net. Ronicky keeps it out.
Yeah, it's a brutal Game 5 for Team Liquid. Solary have been very clinical, and Team Liquid didn't really get a chance to show off their, offense that they've had every now and again this series. The passing, the shooting has been pretty impressive, and they've definitely looked threatening. But they'll just wish they could have defended with, half of the quality of your average RLCS defense these days. They were abysmal games 1 through 4, just giving away goals with consistently poor positioning, and Solary are not a team that you can get away with doing that against. They're just far too solid, and with Tox on the roster, they look like they've got a bit more flair as well. I think it's giving them life, and there's definitely hope for a good run here for Solary.
Well, they are going to move on through, and it is certainly a good sign for Solary that they've managed to take this. Tox looking like a great fit for the team. As for Team Liquid, it's
more of the same.
The cake is half cooked. The outside, the offense is looking really good, and the defense is just frozen over still. It's very interesting what we're going to hear the devs talk about later. I'm curious what their takes on that are going to be. But we are not the only show on right now. We have also got Dignitas against Trainhard Esport, and a quick update for you on that one, Johnny, because let's try to scare you a little bit with that. It's 2-1 after a 7-minute and 12 overtime to Trainhard. So Dignitas really up against it over there. As for Singularity versus You Choose Peace, it is now 2-1 as well to You Choose Peace. So all of the underdogs coming out to play today, and certainly always dangerous to try and be a European top team. When we come back, we are though going to see the European top team. The champions themselves take the field as BDS play against Fadeaway.